Good morning. Happy Garden Western New York. Happy Garden Wednesday, Western New York. I posted a picture on Monday of a gazebo to give you a hint of where I am today. We are in beautiful gardens, and I do have a guest, but unfortunately she can't join me today. But I am going to tell you all about her and show you her designs, lovely garden designs. So let's get started. We've got a lot to get to. First, I'm going to start by turning this around. This garden is an example of Ellen Biddle Shipman's landscape design. I have been looking at this sign for 7 years as I walk and enjoy the landscape of Knox State Park. If you're not familiar with Knox, it's a 200-acre park located just outside of East Aurora. It was purchased by New York State from the Knox family, very prominent Western New York business family who very active not only in business but in the arts, the culturals, and they were responsible for bringing the Buffalo Sabres to Buffalo. There's the gazebo that I showed you the other day. In the 7 years I've been walking in this park, I have walked by that sign about Ellen Biddle Shipman's landscape design and somehow thought that maybe she was a Girl Scout leader who brought her troop in to make this garden. It sits up at the top of the hill in the park, right next door to the Knox's mansion. This property was their summer home for many, many, many years. So what I want to do is take you into the garden, and I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see it, and then I'm going to tell you about Ellen Biddle Shipman and why she matters to this garden, to Western New York, and to the United States. So I'm taking you in to the special entrance. There's many ways to get into this garden, but this is my favorite because there's a garden gate, and I always feel like when I walk through it, it makes it seem like I'm going into a magical space. So here we go. Now I have to tell you, these gardens are maintained by New York State, but also by volunteers. And if you're interested, there's a Knox State Farm volunteer group, Friends of, that you can join. You can give them money. Sorry, I'm trying to close the gate. You can give them money. You can also help to volunteer. This garden bed, whoever is working on the gardens this year is really stepping up the game here. While this may not look like much of a garden bed, they have taken it out and put it back together so that it will be more dramatic, which is so exciting. It's always filled with Rebecca, black-eyed Susans, and they still have them here. They've put this beautiful clematis in the corner and just new plantings that are still in the filling in stage, but it's just going to make it, it's the tradition, right? It's going to be gorgeous. So now I'm going to turn you around to the rest of the gardens and start telling you about Ellen Biddle Shipman. Oh, look. So gorgeous. So gorgeous. So Ellen Biddle Shipman was born in Philadelphia in 1869, and she died in 1950. She was 80 years old when she passed. She is remarkable, and why we're talking about her today is that she was the first woman American landscape architect. Amazing. And she was in the first generation of women to break into what was an all-male dominated profession. One of the most favorite quotes I found from her said that it was in a New York Times 1938 newspaper article, and she said, before women took hold of the landscape profession, landscape architects were doing what I call cemetery work. So clearly she was as outspoken as she was talented in her landscape designs. She was known for lush gardens, lush plantings. She liked to do borders. She had a big thing about doing borders for gardens, and they were called herbaceous borders. She liked to put herbs in her borders. Her plantings were complex, and so they were a challenge for people because they took a lot of time to maintain and sustain. But nonetheless, she became wildly popular across the United States. Now, where does that connect with Western New York? Two ways. First of all, one of her clients in Western New York was the Darwin Martin family. She designed the gardens for Grey Cliff. And I know that those are under renovation, So I'm not sure what they look like, but if you go to Grey Cliff, know that at least the framework or the ideal of what they're trying to restore there at Grey Cliff are directly related to Ellen Biddle Shipman. The second connection to Western New York for Ms. Shipman is with the Knox family, the second generation of the Knox family. The first generation started, this is their summer home in the, I don't know, early 1900s, late 1870s, late 1800s. But in the 1940s, second generation of Knox family, being Seymour and his wife, hired Ellen Biddle Shipman to replenish, refresh, redo the gardens. And so she did. She accepted the assignment, and her purpose or her intent was to plant gardens that would not interfere with the views from the house but complement them. Let's see. And she loved to plant perennials, as you can see. Look at these iris. They're the large iris. They're so beautiful. And of course, I've already walked by the peonies. And like I said, whoever is working in these gardens this year, they have really stepped up their game. They're framing the peonies so that you really get to appreciate them. They're putting in different varieties. Look at this tiny iris here. So beautiful. And raised garden beds so that they're maintained, and a walking path that you can get around. Now, there used to be a second tree, and it's gone this year. So it was leaning, so maybe it was on its last legs. But let's finish going. There's some beautiful hostas. Let me go back to my notes. I think I had some more to tell you. So 40, now, 60, 80, almost 90 years later, that was math, sorry, I'm not good at it. The gardens that Ellen Biddle Shipman created here are gone. But what does remain is the suggestion, the foundation, the layouts of them, and also the tree plantings. And I don't have information on what those trees are, but they still stay. And I mean, just look at the trees. They're beautiful. Okay, we are in the back gardens now, and again, these will bloom later in the summer, and they'll be tall and more Rudbeckia, black-eyed Susan. There are some peonies back here. Trying to think. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to tell you. This garden is well worth the trip to come to East Aurora and see it. Do some more research on Ellen Biddle Shipman. She makes you proud as a woman, that she had took this stand and became one of the most prominent landscape architects in the United States. And the only thing I would say is, if anybody knows the powers that be in the Knox organization, the Knox State Farm organization, the only thing that's missing from this garden that used to be here is the park bench. There used to be a park bench right here where you could come and sit and just enjoy the vista of these gardens. And it's gone. So if you have any pull with anybody, ask them to put the bench back, will you? I'm going to finish with a look at these gardens. Look at it. I hope you enjoyed this Garden Wednesday, Western New York, because it has started my day on such a beautiful and creative and inspiring way. And in the landscape, I'm going to give you the vista. I don't know that I can there. I'm going to leave you with that view of the rolling hills of Western New York. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day and enjoy your gardens. Talk soon.